An interesting question was raised from Adam Stratton, who wrote an article for the KSRon3.com site. So go check that out. It's a pretty interesting proposition here. A way to frame this season for Kentucky basketball, a way to frame this roster in a way that I don't think we've discussed or even really thought about yet. So, creative thought process here for sure from Mr. Adam Stratton. Shout out to Adam. The question he asks is this: could Kentucky return 11 players a season from now? So 2026 into 2027. That would be a record number of players in the NIL era for Kentucky, and I think really for any program in the country. But as the author notes, when you talk through the players on this team, outside of Jaden Quaintance, who, barring disaster, is going to leave for the NBA this year, every other player in theory that is not Otega Owe or Denzel Aberdeen could return. And if we want to just go guy by guy quickly, just to speak to various levels of where could they be a year from now, Jalen Lowe is a junior, should come back as one of the premier guards in all of college basketball, not an NBA prospect unless he has an unbelievable season. Mo Diabate, a junior role player, he'll be back unless he needs to look elsewhere. Quaintance is a sophomore, but NBA player. Cam Williams is on some mock drafts, but depending on his role, as only a sophomore, has 2 more years of eligibility. Brandon Garrison, a junior, should be back for a depth year, 1 more year. Colin Chandler, a sophomore, he's got more years. Jasper Johnson, Malachi Moreno, freshman with a lot of bright future ahead of them. Trent Noah, a sophomore, 2 more years after this. Yelovich, Braden Hawthorne, Reese Potter, all underclassmen as well. Reese Potter's a junior, but has more years of eligibility. This team, whether it was tactical or not, this team has been built around underclassmen and guys with multiple years of eligibility in a way that could reap massive benefits for Mark Pope if he goes the full-blown hashtag retention model a year from now. The question is, do you keep everyone happy enough to stay in Kentucky uniforms and not into the portal? We know money won't be a problem. The other question is, does anyone besides Quaintance pop off and go to the NBA? Could Cam Williams or Jasper Johnson or even Malachi Moreno show enough in year one that make them a prospect before year two? What are your thoughts on all of this, Dion? Is this a realistic scenario that Kentucky returns 11 players?
I mean, I don't want to take away from Kentucky with this comment, but my answer isn't no because it's unrealistic. I do think it's realistic if that's what Pope wants to do. I mean, Pope's recruiting pretty much everybody in the top 20 though. So like I think Pope in his own right is kind of like expecting more guys not to return because like you I mean, I believe he's getting Tyron. I think he's gonna get a couple more 5 stars. We know he's gonna get one or two people from the portal. I would say the way Pope is moving, his expectation is people not everybody returns, but it's definitely very possible. Like if that's what he wants to do, money won't be an issue. Love of the school is an issue. I don't think anyone's ever going to play for Mark Pope and then not want to play for Mark Pope if they have the opportunity to continue to play for Mark Pope.
Well, Travis Perry disagrees with you.
Well, that's the opportunity portion of it. I think, respectfully to Travis Perry, I think that was a little bit more mutual than maybe like anybody realizes. And like there is, I just think like everything would line up to if anyone's able to retain 11 people. I think you're looking at Matt Painter, Tom Izzo, Mark Pope. Maybe you could throw Underwood in there a little bit too with the retention that they had this year. But like, I don't think I think the coaches that can do it on the level Pope can are few and far between. But I just say no because he's not moving like a guy that's going to return 11 people.
Yeah. First of all, can you hold your wrist up for me? I'm slapping you on the wrist for that. Never put Brad Underwood in a retention conversation in the same sentence as Matt Painter and Tom Izzo. Never do that again. You've done such a good job today, Dion. That was a crazy, crazy thing to throw it all off. I'm not going to be able to get over that. Yeah, but to that, let's use that comparison. Matt Painter, one of the greatest retention coaches there is. He builds his entire program on bringing guys back. Cam Heide and Miles Colvin just left him. He's not returning everybody this year. Tom Izzo, one of the greatest retention coaches there is in the sports history. Xavier Booker, is gone. Trey Holloman is gone. Two key pieces in theory of retention that were going to help this team. It is hard to keep players this long. And look, even Adam, who wrote this article, it is a great question to ask. Adam concludes this article by saying, will it happen? Probably not. Like, it's just the odds are against anyone doing that. But the reason it's not likely to happen, I don't think has anything to do with the players. I think guy by guy, as you mentioned, would probably love to sign up to keep coming back. And more importantly, is coming into this year thinking I'll be here next year too. Because that can really help a team, especially developmentally. If a guy like Jasper Johnson even is coming into this season being like, oh, I'm here for 2 years, that can be huge for where Kentucky is headed. And there's not necessarily a sense of like foot out the door, my eye is on the prize. You're just trying to get better every single day. And I do think, in theory, this year's team is approaching it very much. 11 guys being like, yeah, I'll probably be here a year from now. The question and the difference is going to be exactly what you said. Mark Pope believes he's getting Tyron Stokes. I believe he's getting Tyron Stokes. Mark Pope believes he's getting Duron Rippey Jr. I believe he's getting Duron Rippey Jr. This team is in the mix for a bunch of top 50 players next year. I mean, they have scholarship offers to, I think, 13 of the top 16 players in the class. So, like, just point blank, you don't recruit the way Mark Pope's recruiting with the intention of, you asked Mark Pope, he'd probably love to sign 3 to 4 of these guys that are all top 40 recruits. If you add 3 of the top 40 recruits to next year's team, you're not bringing back 11 guys because you're just not. Duron Rippey needs to play, right? Tyron Stokes needs to play. Then all of a sudden you're going to look up and down, and Cam Williams and Mo Diabate and Colin Chandler and Trent Noah are going to have decisions because now I'm heading into year 3 and the best players in the country are here. Do I really want to sign up for a role for 5-6 minutes? Or maybe more importantly, less the player having a decision. Maybe Mark Pope, very nicely filled with gratitude, is like, yeah, I don't see much of a role for you. We're recruiting some better players than you as time goes on. Not saying that's how he operates, because Mark Pope does not, I don't think he does process people or kick people out. But to your point on Travis Perry, that may have been more of a two-way street than it seemed, even if Mark Pope wants to hit the podium and say that he can't believe Travis Perry left.
I think like if you told Mark Pope he's retaining 11 guys, that's what he would want. But here's the issue. Mark Pope wants to build the best team possible. And whether he wants people to leave or not, he recruits over guys. Like straight
Yeah.
up, he recruited over Jasper, a Caden, right? Like he recruited over a
Why he
Caden.
lost to Caden, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what he does. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Like that's what you're supposed to do. I think when you look at it, like yes, he could return 11. If anyone was going to pull it off, I believe it's Mark Pope. I just don't think he wants to pull it off because, like,
Right.
why would you want to retain respectfully to Trent Noah, right? Like, you could retain Trent Noah or you can have Tyron Stokes. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And
It's a
the
no.
the head coach, well, Kentucky fans will push back on you because like they're in different buckets, right? It's not one or the other. You Trent Noah is a guy I think you keep even with the stars because he just
Absolutely.
loves it. But
Absolutely.
yeah, there are going to be questions with other guys on this roster for sure along that line. And this is why Mark Pope is paid the big bucks. I think Kentucky fans also are smart enough to realize that it's not just I don't know. It's not like a everybody gets a participation trophy thing here. There are going to be players on this very deep Kentucky team that don't live up to their role expectations this year,
Right.
and Mark Pope's going to have an opportunity to upgrade them. He's the
Right.
coach at Kentucky. They spent the most money in the portal last year. He's recruiting like the biggest bad villain there is. Yeah, they're going to have good opportunities. How many guys do they bring back? Let's just play crystal ball game right now. 11 is the number they could bring back. I mean,
Ooh,
we could go guy by guy right now and say, are they back next year? Should we do that?
let's do that.
Jalen Lowe, is he back next year?
Yeah.
I think he's back, and I think he's one of the best guards in the country in year 2. Mo Diabate, is he back next year?
Yeah.
That would go in my bucket of does he get recruited over?
The only reason I say yeah is there's another person I think's being recruited over. I don't see uh, oddly enough, and I might be wrong on this. I don't see Pope as heavy on the front court right now as like guards and wings in the
Sure.
in recruiting.
Okay. JQ, is he back next year?
No, no.
He's in the NBA, we think. But I don't know, injury concerns too. I don't think it's that crazy that JQ could get like $4 million to come back to Kentucky for one more year. Cam Williams, is he back next year?
I think Cam's back. Yeah.
I'm going to say no, one way or the other. I think there's a path where he's in the NBA, and I think there's a path where he doesn't live up to expectations, and Mark Pope wants an upgrade. So I have two guys currently in the bucket of like, I don't know if they'll be there next year. They're two guys that are going to play roles in this team. Brandon Garrison, is he there next year?
No.
Yeah, if he's underwhelming, I think we just go and get a better backup big at that point.
Whether it's in from like a high school recruit or the portal, I think they recruit over Brandon Garrison.
They should get a star center somewhere, and Malachi Moreno should be the backup by next year. So yeah,
Yeah.
Garrison's the guy I think you circle like what is the path for him to come back? Colin Chandler, I think, is back next year.
Yeah, I agree.
Jasper Johnson, I think, is back next year.
Uh, so he's the guy I'm afraid is being recruited over. I
Okay.
don't think it would be anything between Kentucky and Jasper. I think Jasper wants to be back. I think Kentucky wants Jasper back. But when you look at the targets Pope has with Jalen Lowe also seemingly returning, what is the path to Jasper having a massive role in his first 2 years in college? And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong for Jasper's sake, but I do fear he's being recruited over a tad.
I think the pitch would be you try and play Low, Jasper, and Rippy together, the same way you're going to play Low, Owe, Verdine / Jasper this year. I could see that. I'm going to think Mark Pope cares enough about Jasper to keep him. He's got a lot of ties to Lexington too.
I hope so. I really do. I also just think like we're looking at it right now where it's like he's about to pull in like 2 or 3 5 stars. He didn't necessarily do that the previous year. He had a great recruiting class, but it wasn't the level that this one's going to be. We know he's probably going to get two of the best players in the portal too.
True.
And so if one of those guys in the portal is a guard, I think Jasper might get recruited over a tad.
This is true. It's a fair point. And then Moreno, Noah, Yelovich, Hawthorne, Potter, I think all are back. Do you have anybody in that group you think isn't?
No, I think they're all back.
So for me, I have 8 guys, and I could see it being 8 or 9. That's still a crazy amount of retention.
Yeah, I agree. I think by the way, I think it's 8 or 9 when it's all said and done. I think they go into the portal with closer to 10. And then I think it's like they get a
Comes
guy or
out of
two.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all that. I think they just lose a guy because of who they get in the portal. But I think the retention number is going to be high up front.
Yeah. They should like be up near the top of the SEC, if not the country, for sure, in retention, which whether or not it was tactical, I'm gonna assume it was tactical. I bet this is something Mark Pope and staff prioritized. So let's get guys with multiple years of eligibility. It makes your portal ads a lot more valuable when you get 2 years of a guy like Jalen Lowe instead of something else. So fun way to look at this Kentucky roster, makes you really optimistic for what year 3 could be in the Mark Pope era.